Excesses vary from insurance company to insurance company. The purpose in general of an excess is to reduce the claims frequency. Just imagine this for a second. If there was no excess, would most people claim for the smallest of incidents? This in turn would lead to increased claims frequency, which inevitably will lead to an increased loss ratio, which would ultimately lead to an increased premium. There is also a general perception that a client that has skin in the game by means of having to fork out a significant amount when a loss occurs generally mitigates their risk better as to avoid an incident as far as possible. There are many variable excesses applied by the industry. Flat structure excesses suggest it is a fixed amount no matter the size of the loss. For example, even if you write off your 800,000 Rand vehicle, will your flat excess of 4,500 Rand apply? In other instances, do insurance companies charge a minimum excess of 4,500 Rand or 7.5% of the loss? Now, in our initial example, would that equate to an excess amount of 60,000 Rand? As you can see, is there a huge difference between the two excess structures applied within the industry? Now, considering the different contributions required based on the applicable excess structure applied by your insurer, is it safe to say, in theory, would the higher excess structure in most instances lead to a lower monthly premium? There's nothing wrong with either approach and merely comes down to preference. A larger excess might substitute for a lower monthly premium, but be sure that you have this readily available in the case of a loss. Please also note that insurance companies that do offer the flat excesses normally have the option available for a voluntary excess to reduce your premium. We mention this because if you want to compare price, make sure that you compare apples with apples. Now you might say to me, in your other videos you highlight that the minority of claims are total losses, so why should I be concerned about a percentage excess? The fact remains that although total losses and or high quantum losses are in the minority, are we here to educate you on making informed decisions? So our purpose is making you aware of it, think through all the possible outcomes of a claim, and then making an informed decision so that when the incident happens, you are not surprised or caught off guard. Some insurance companies then also apply additional excesses. This might vary by means of charging additional excesses when a claim arises within a specific period from inception, or an additional excess be applied based on the time of the accident right down to who the actual incident driver was. The general industry norm is drivers below a certain age pay an additional excess. There are a number of variances found in this regard, so make sure you ask, understand, and compare before accepting a new quote. Insurance companies might also, after giving appropriate notice, increase your excess should your claims ratio become of concern. The purpose thereof is to retain you as a client but attempt to improve your claims ratio. It is worthy to always remember that although you have insurance, should you always aim at mitigating your risk as far as possible. It is better to avoid an incident than to go through the inconvenience of an unplanned event. You can never recover all the costs following an incident, be it your excess, valuable time, or inconvenience. In closing, the majority of today's discussion is mostly based on motor excesses, but the same applies to all other risk categories. When comparing quotes with one another, is it essential to compare excess structures? Do not bank on a recovery of your excess, nor fall into the trap of believing I have credit shortfall or top-up cover, which will cover your higher excesses, because it is mostly excluded from these products. Take the time and make an informed decision, because premiums is but only one aspect of your decision in selecting an insurance partner. You have the knowledge now, so make an informed decision. Thank you.